How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Tech House Tips video. So we've got another 5 tips for you, taken from our track Frequencies that we've just finished. So we did actually record the session from a blank canvas right the way through to the mixdown stage. It's going in our Black 7 members group tomorrow, so stick around to the end of the video if, you want to see how we made it. I'm going to play a clip of the track just now. So that's what the track sounds like. So the 5 tips are going to be taken from that track. So yeah, if you find the video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. If you got any questions, then drop them in the comments. Cheers, guys. So the first thing I wanted to show you in this one is this Punchbox channel. So let me just let you listen to it. It's just like a ticky top end to a kick. So I'll show you the plugin itself. So what I could have done, obviously all I've used it for in this is like that top end of a kick. Like, because I already had this kick sample here, what I could have done is loaded in. So if I would have gone on sample here, I could have loaded in this sample itself, loaded it into this plugin, and then I could have added the tops to it within this. But on this occasion, I chose not to do that. I chose just to add a new channel to add the toppiness in. But yeah, if you want to, you can load samples into here, and then you can like add your effects on afterwards. So I'm actually just gonna put in a little kick pattern just to show you. So yeah, what you can also do is obviously, you can load a sample in here, or it has got a built-in 909 kick for you, which you can tune. So can you see down here? So that's just the percentage actually, but then you've got the pitch, so it's telling you basically what note it is. So if you want to kind of tune your kicks, then that's a good way to do that. And obviously you've got the 808 kick as well. And then yeah, you've just got like a sine wave kick that you can make. So yeah, I'm not really using this for the kicks really. I'm just liking it for these like toppy sounds, because I feel like sometimes it can just add a lot to your kick. And yeah, so I have a play around with it. So like I said, I just kind of flick through these. So I'll turn that kick off for now. And like, yeah, there's loads of like different sounds that you can go for. Obviously, you turn the volume down, you can like add filters on, you can change the decay, you can tune it up and down. So yeah, you can really get whatever sound you're looking for. But yeah, as I said, in this one, I've just used it for this extra like bit of like a textury toppiness to go with the kick. Just kind of gives it a bit of like a bit of texture really. So the second thing I want to show you is these hat grooves. So I like to do this a lot with hats, to be honest. So all I've done is just dragged in a load of hats. Like, I didn't even listen to them like before I dragged them in. I just literally just selected a handful and then dragged them all in. And then I'll just let you listen to just turn that off. Let you listen to the track there. So yeah, it's just these. So yeah, like I quite like to make like a little, like it's kind of like a percussion groove really, isn't it? Like with the hats, because I feel like I can just like give you a bit of interest, and then you've got the opportunity then to like kind of change things like throughout the bar, like, yeah. So let me just hear you like with it and without. Just turn these hats off. Like, just goes like proper flat without them. Turn it back on. So yeah, like no science to it. Just dragged a load of hats in, and then just try to like kind of come up with a pattern. Like, yeah, just put a few sounds in to start with. Obviously, changes in volume on there, and then it's probably got a bit of groove on it somewhere. Does it? Yeah, some of these sounds are just off the grid. So yeah, that's tip number 2, is interesting hat grooves. The next thing I wanted to show you are these like glitchy synths, is what I've called them for this video. So with these sounds, like the way that I did it in this track was with the Minilog, and to be fair, that's what I'm using it for most of the time, is just like little quirky little sounds. And I think I might have shown this in a video before, like how I get these sounds, but I'm not sure whether I've done it in these Tech House tip ones, so I'm going to show it again. Apologies if you've already seen it, but what I did was I literally just, and for me, right, like this is the part of music production that I find fun. So like, you know, like I was literally just like messing around, just like, yeah, just pissing about basically. So if you listen to what this sounds like, it's absolutely terrible. So I just started the track, and then as the track was going, I was just like pressing things on the Minilog. Obviously, I'm doing this with hardware, but you could do it with like any instrument. You can like, yeah, just get like analog or whatever and just do the same thing. Just record the audio out. But like, obviously, like off the like kind of, yeah, on the face of it, it's just a load of stuff that sounds terrible. So if you listen to it like in the track, it sounds awful. So yeah, I'm not gonna kind of let you see the whole thing, but I've just been playing the track and just messing about recording for a whole 6 minutes, and then what I've done is taken out the bits that I like. So I've just listened back through it, and any bits that like as you listen you're like, that bit sounded quite decent, then you just save it or like just clip it out. And then so what I've done is just moved all the bits that I like, and then I've tried to come up with like a rhythm, like a pattern. So kind of like what you would do with your percussion, and it's kind of like a little bit of a call and response. So you're like trying to get these kind of sections to talk to each other and just like come up with a kind of first bit and then a second bit. But yeah, I wanted to show you like how I get the sounds to begin with, and it is just, yeah, just recording a load of stuff out. And I think when you do that and you're recording, like, even if you're doing it with like a plugin, the way I would do it, so it's going to be, in fact, it'll be quite difficult unless you've got a like a MIDI keyboard or something with mappable like knobs on it. Like you might struggle to get the same kind of effect, but like I'm just gonna turn this on, turn the push on, just so I can try and show you. So like on analog, for example, obviously you'd have to get a sound first that was like reasonable. So like you'd have to just try and get something. Yeah, so like even if it was just that, like, so what you could do is like what I've done there, like doing that, as you're kind of, as you're doing it, you could like play around with that, like, play around with that, like whatever you can think of really. But like what I think it does is, number one, it helps you to capture, like when you're recording, like, and you press something, like sometimes you might not have known what you did and you can't get it back. So like if you're just recording out, like you'll obviously get it back. Obviously what you can do now is you can press that button on Live 11, so to be fair, like you can get it back anyway. But I just personally find this way of doing it like quite fun, because you're letting your track play and you're literally just like, yeah, you're just messing about, to be fair. And like, yeah, when you go back through it, like you can most of the time find a couple of good bits. So yeah, that's the next tip, is like basically just coming up with mad sounds and then chopping them up to take the best bits from it. Right, so the next thing I want to show you is this Roland TB303 plugin. So I've actually got the TB03, like the hardware version, and since getting this, I've actually been using this more. So like, yeah, I'm a big fan of this now. Like I actually find it a lot easier to program than the actual hardware unit. So yeah, like show it you like what it's doing in this track. So we just got like a and then yeah, what you've got with it is obviously you've got the cutoff that you can play with, so like that's constantly changing throughout the track. That's all I actually mapped on this, to be fair, but sometimes you want to mess with the resonance, that can like change it up for you. And then one other thing I did with it is that was like the main kind of melody that the 303 was doing in most of the track, and then I made a different version which was slightly different, which went like this. So it's basically just like an extended version of this. Obviously, this main part's only got a few notes. What I did was added more notes in, and then yeah, it just gives you that little bit of variation in the build-up then. And then when it goes back to the other one, like after it drops, kind of, yeah, just mixes it up a little bit really. Cool. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to mention on this. But yeah, like as I said, I actually now I'm considering getting rid of the TB03 because I love this one so much. So yeah, if you've got Roland Cloud, like yeah, definitely check it out. Right, so the last one is to experiment with reverb pre-delay times. So I haven't actually, basically, when I did the reverb on this track, I didn't bother doing any in this version. I waited until I was in the mixdown stage to add the reverb, because I knew I did have a reverb actually, but it was just I just put any old reverb on there. But in the final version, I did add a bit of pre-delay, and I want to show you what that does. So yeah, basically, like I'm just gonna actually put a sound to it. So it's already going there, so let's solo these. not going to work. Right, I'm going to stick it on this channel actually, just to show you and kind of explain like why it's interesting to play around with it. So, right, I'm just going to stick this normal reverb on this hat. So, what I did on the final version was I set the pre-delay time so that it was like basically in time with the track. So if I just pull up this site for you, so basically if you just Google reverb time calculator, so there's another producer one, yeah, there's probably others, but this is the one that I just use every time. If you go on that and then you put in what BPM your track is, so ours was 127. So what you get then is basically the value in milliseconds for each of these kind of basically like beat values. So a 16th note on 127 BPM would be 118 milliseconds. So if I put that onto 118, and then listen. So can you, what it's doing, it's, you're getting the hat sound first. So let me just turn that onto 16ths. So you're getting your hat sound there, and then on that second 16th note there, that's when the reverb's starting. So you're getting this sound basically dry, and then you're getting the reverb after, whereas without any pre-delay, 0, the reverb's starting by there. So this is that. So reverb's like already on that sound. And then we go back to the 16th. You can hear it, like the reverb's like starting after. So like what that does, like it can make it sound like the sound is closer to you. So like the way that I've been taught this is like, imagine if you were in a big cathedral and somebody was stood right next to you. Like if somebody clapped right by you, you would hear their clap first, and then you would hear the reverb after. So like the fact that you can hear the clap first, like dry, it gives you the perception that the sound that you're hearing is close to you, because there's a delay until you hear the reverb. So like I don't want to get like too complicated about it, but yeah, basically if you look on this website and work out what your pre-delay values are, so that was a 16th note, so you could like maybe use a 32nd note, which is kind of obviously faster, so yeah, is not as much of a kind of delay. But what I find you get with this pre-delay, it can actually add a bit of groove as well, like because it's kind of like an echo. It's like yeah, it is like an echo really. It's like a 16th note echo, but obviously it's reverb, so it can add to your groove as well a lot, I think. So yeah, that was tip number 5, was reverb pre-delays. So like I said earlier, I recorded this project literally from a blank canvas to this. Well, this isn't even the finished product, to be fair, because I also did mix it down as well. So if you want to, yeah, see the whole process from start to finish, like I deliberately also didn't use any like pre-saved samples or anything like that. Like I didn't have anything pre-planned before I made it. I wanted it to be a like true reflection of how I would go about making a tune from scratch. So if you haven't got your own sample library and you've got to like flick through packs and like you've got no like go-to sounds, then yeah, you'll see my process of how I would go about it. Like there's some bloopers in there, like you'll see me add stuff, like try stuff that don't work, and then I take them out. So what I wanted it to be was like an honest, like yeah, true reflection of how I go about making tracks, and it doesn't kind of pan out first time. Very rarely does it. There's always sounds in there that don't work. You've got to take them out. You've got to try things. But I think a lot of the time when you're watching music tutorials, you kind of just automatically presume that that person just got what they got first time. And like, I think as you're learning, it can be a little bit demoralizing when you're like, well, when I'm trying, like, why is it so hard? Like why am I struggling so much to get these ideas down? Like, what I wanted to kind of show in this one was, like, I don't get it right first time. I go through a lot of like trial and error, and yeah, the final track that you end up with, yeah, it is just a kind of, yeah, it's just like a process of adding things in, taking things out. So yeah, as I said, I've recorded that whole thing, which will be available to the Black 7 members. So yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this post. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then yeah, click that link and head over to the Black 7 members website. That's it for this one. Cheers, guys.